What's up, guys? We're back playing Paladins. It's been quite a long time. And the last video, from what I remember, I think was about Maeve, which is kind of insane. And I do remember I did do a Paladins video that was on Skye and how you can play her. However, things have changed drastically, and now there's legendaries, so there's quite a lot of stuff I have to go over. I would have to re-go over with Skye, so definitely another Skye video coming back. But today, we are doing a video on Seris, Oracle of the Abyss. She is a very interesting character, because she is a support, in fact. However, she is going to be, you can already tell, she's a very high skill cap character. I really do want to main her, but she does have a tendency of struggling, and that's why I can't tell. When I go over the builds in this video, I'm going to pretty much give you guys the inclination that you should probably follow what I say with a grain of salt, in a sense, when it comes to the builds, because I'm still trying to figure out which might be the best build in certain situations. I'm still trying to figure that out. I haven't gotten to that point yet of being that good to know what's the best for her to pick. But I do have some builds that are generally pretty good, and they'll work for you, and they will be able to protect you in the crazy situations. So let's begin. Seris has quite a few interesting abilities. Her main attack is Soul Orb, and the interesting thing about this attack is the fact that it pierces through enemies. And believe it or not, this is something I've wanted for a very long time in Paladins. A weapon that actually goes through people. It doesn't just stop at them. So if I were to throw this at them, as you can see, they even have a little bit of a debuff on them. And actually that debuff is what helps our Q, but I'll get into that in a sec. Pretty much, Soul Orb is a projectile that pierces through enemies, and every time you hit them, it applies a stack to them. A Soul Orb stack, and it gets to the max of 4, which is very interesting. And then from there, you can deal damage to them by detonating them with your Q. Now, the interesting thing about your Q is that it doesn't just detonate the orbs on a character, or on a champion. It also heals you of your maximum HP, which is actually insane. So you have ridiculous sustain if you know how to use it right, which is Ren Soul. And Ren Soul, as you can see, it deals 100 damage to the afflicted enemy for each charge detonated. Every charge detonated also heals you for 15% of your maximum life. So if I were to get a lot of damage done to me, and then that does an extreme amount of healing, a lot of healing. But the only scary thing about this ability is that it's not always available to you. So you do have to definitely be careful, and you can be bursted down by flanks if you're caught off guard. And I'll get into that, why I believe you have to be very careful with Seris. The next ability is Restore Soul, which is her main and only healing ability, which is very interesting. She only has one. There is no AoE healing, but because of that, she has very powerful healing. She can heal 1,000 health every second for 2 seconds, which is pretty insane. And then if you get the legendary that I'm using right now, you can extend that ability. And I'll get into the legendaries at the end. So you can see it heals them pretty hard. Pretty well, too. Very easy for just pocket healing. Like, if there's a Drogos in the air, go up in there and heal them real quick. And then you can also cancel the ability, because it is the first real channeling ability. So if I were to... Oh god, Fernando. He's dead. So if I were to... like that, I can stop it early, which is really nice. And it's really good for getting the cooldown to get lowered quick enough so that you can switch to someone else, which is really cool. Sadly, you can't do this. You can't right-click on him and then right-click on someone else and switch the healing to someone else. I wish you could do that, but you can't, which is kind of sad. But it is still a really interesting ability nonetheless, but it definitely has its flaws, and I'll talk about that in the end. The next ability is Shadow Travel. Now this is probably one of my favorite abilities of Seris, because this is insane. Step into another plane of reality for 5 seconds. While this ability is active, you're in stealth and immune to all harmful effects. So you are stealthed. You cannot be hit for 5 seconds. And that ability can be buffed massively. You can get more movement speed, you can get more healing. Actually, you can get healing during it because you don't get any base. But you can with a card. And pretty much it's the ultimate reposition ability. You know, you just move over here and you can get back in a good position and just heal. Really, really good. And the final ability... Actually, wait, before I get to the final ability real quick, which is the ultimate, which is amazing. Shadow Travel, the downside of it, just to let you guys know, is that it does have a very slow cast time. So you could be killed during this. During just waving it, you could be killed. So do be careful. There is a card that can increase the cast time so that you can get out a lot quicker, which is very viable, and I highly recommend it. But it is something to kind of be aware of. And the last ability, which is very interesting, is Convergence. Cast your soul core into the battlefield. After a delay, a tear in reality will manifest and drag in nearby enemies. So if I were to demonstrate that, as you can see, there's a lot you could do with that. It's definitely a follow-up ult. But the reason why ultimates like that are excellent and dangerous in that it isn't the best kinds of ultimates is because you have to be communicating with your teammates to be able to even pull that off, right? So it definitely is something that you really have to be careful of, because you can either waste it and try to get people, or you could wait and actually try to do something with your team to try and follow up with it to actually wipe a team. Someone like Skye could definitely follow up on it very well, but again, you have to really be working well together with Seris in order to really get the full effect of that. So definitely keep that in mind. And now let's kind of get into her legendaries. Okay. Seris legendaries are very interesting. So her default legendary is Soul Collector. Soul charges you detonate increase your maximum health by 2% per charge. Stacks up to 8 times stats cure on death. This is a very good build. And you know what I've been realizing? I've been realizing that this card is actually a lot better than what you think, because when you think default card, it's like, I don't really want the default. The default's never really that good anyway. Actually, this one's pretty good, because this allows you to get over 3,000 health. That's more than Buck. And for a healer, that's pretty insane. So if you're trying to tank a bit, then this is definitely what you should consider. Mortal Reach is the one that I go for almost always, but I've been trying to stop doing that so that I can kind of just look at some other ways of other play styles of Seris. This is map-wide healing, because she has a very short just distance to heal people naturally. So if I were to kind of show this off for a second, let me go to Soul Collector, and let me just kind of show this off. Where should I go? I'll go over here, and I'll show you guys what I mean. I have 3,016 health. That's a lot of health. And no, your health does not go away. That just stays there like that forever unless you get damaged. So, if I get hit, you can see my health drops. But if I were to bam, I get health back, and you see I broke the limit, which is really nice. So definitely, it's just a very, very good card. I'm really going to start using this card a little bit more, because I've been kind of not using it really, because it's honestly the best thing you have as a legendary against flanks, to be fair. It really is, because there's not much that you can do with Mortal Reach against flanks. And then you have Ren Soul, which can be very helpful, and now I'm going to actually show you guys how that works. So, the Ren Soul legendary Agony pretty much applies a stun when they're at their max soul charge and you detonate them. So it's much better. Let me use my detonate build for this. So Actually, I forgot. Stun does not work on those specific bots. Let me go over here. Okay. So, he has the 4 charges on him, and if I stun him... And one thing to point out with this, though, I will say, that is really nice about it. You can reload during that stun, and they can't do anything to you. So, it is good for kind of covering that hole. So it's definitely worth it. I like it, but again, it is situational in a sense, because if you're not trying to, or at least you don't have a very good damage build, then you're gonna see your lack of heals on your team. It's really going to be very prevalent. So you definitely got to be careful. And pretty much that's all of the things that you could do with Seris. I mean, now, if you take a look at all of her cards, which I will go to on the main menu in a little bit, she has excellent cards. Quite possibly one of the best cards in the game out of everything. As you can see, that's pretty much what the ult does for Seris. It just groups everyone else up so that she can get a crap ton of stacks. I definitely think, though, I'm going to be making and playing a lot more Seris so that I can get a good build for her. I want to be honest with you guys, I don't think I have the perfect build for her. I think my build idea is good, but they're not perfect yet. And once I really get a real perfect build for Seris, then I'll make a real video on it. But for now, this is kind of how this video is going to have to go. I want to be really, really good at her before I start teaching you guys how to really play her in a competitive sense. I'm just making this video as a general sense, because this is a pretty good character. I like her a whole lot. I'm going to main her, just for you guys to let you know. I will main her, like I do Ying and Skye. So, definitely look out for videos in the future with Seris. Definitely have a lot of fun with this character. She is awesome. Really, really cool design. Okay, guys, now before we end this off, I actually kind of wanted to show Seris' cards off and show off a match with her to see how we can do, whether we win or lose. I just still want to do at least one match with her so you guys can see a little bit of gameplay, how I play her. So you can see she has very good cards. So this one allows her to heal during Restore Soul. This allows you to pretty much take more life from someone when you detonate, so you can heal yourself stronger. This one is excellent. This allows you to generate ammo while you're healing someone, which means no more reloading. I do not use Bane. I want to use this card. That's why I said I want to do more things with her. Rend Soul, another one, the Dark Sight, allows you to reveal people through walls by hitting them. That's amazing, by the way. That's amazing. And then you have movement speed during, which you can get up to 80%, which is insane. You have Fade to Black, which I love this card. When you restore soul, when you're healing people, the cooldown of Shadow Travel is constantly reduced. If you max this out, and you have max restore soul cooldown, right? You can pretty much lower your entire Shadow Travel cooldown in one heal. It's insane. So after healing one person once, you already can go back into the Shadow Realm. It's amazing. But the bad thing about that is that, remember, Seris cannot attack while healing, and Seris cannot hide while attacking or healing. So you have to give up things in order to be very powerful at something, which is why Seris is very interesting, and why you need to understand how to pretty much defend against those kinds of things. So that's what I'm having trouble with. I'm trying to understand how to find a way to protect myself during those situations. And then we have Nether Siphon, here for 50 health. We have Duskwalker, reduce the cooldown. More ammo, which is excellent, means more spamming, less reloading. And it works really, really well with this card here, Spirit Leech, that generates more ammunition. Reload speed, pretty bad card. Revenant, to give you maximum health, that's pretty good, honestly. Soul Forge, probably my most used card. I love this card. Reduces the cooldown of Restore Soul from 5 seconds to 3 seconds at max. And then Umbral Gate, this is amazing. Gives you movement speed for anyone that is affected by a Soul Orb. You can get up to 32% movement speed as a passive, as long as someone is affected, which is excellent for chasing down kills, getting behind corners. It's just an awesome card. And I'm trying to find the best way to use this card in a balanced way with others. because I haven't really found the best way to use it yet. And then I have shadow travel here, which is to reduce the cast time, which is awesome because you can pretty much at max dodge the next shot of anyone's ability, which is awesome. And then you have Ren Soul, which is reduce it further, and for more damage. And I definitely want to try making a really cool Ren Soul build. And then I have some loadouts here. And the best loadout I have to say that you should go with are these two. These are the safest ones. They're not special, but they get the job done. This is specifically against flanks so that you can pretty much get into the Shadow Realm before they can kill you and get to safety. I do... I'm gonna actually change that to this because I actually want to be able to move faster. And then Resurrection here is pretty much my main heal build. I heal myself like crazy while healing someone else. I can heal them a lot frequently, very frequently. And then here I move a little bit faster when someone's affected. And then I have Shadow Travel and for healing, and then a bit of movement speed when I'm in there. And yeah, that's kind of how I have. You guys can take a look at these builds, copy them, let me know if you like them. Also too, don't forget, you can always go to loadouts, import, search by name, type in ArisingHero, exactly like this by the way, and then you'll get my stuff. It's so weird that I can search for myself. It's kind of weird. But yeah, you can see you get all my builds that way. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm actually, you know what? I'm actually going to do a separate video for Seris. Actually, believe it or not too, I was in a match with Stolzy, 2 rounds with Seris. We got wiped. I don't even know if you guys want to see it. I do have a Stolzy gameplay. I actually recorded it. I didn't talk in it or anything, but I just recorded it just because that was insane. And I did it while he was live streaming today, so that was kind of insane, kind of pretty funny. So, I think I'll see you guys in the next episode. I think I'm going to do a Seris gameplay video tomorrow. I'll do an extra video, just special, just for this week, because I kind of want to get a gameplay video and I don't want to make this video too long. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and don't forget to be here. Bye guys.